Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's been a long time since I put a video out. It's been an even longer time since I put one out about guns. So anyway, today we're going to build a rifle. I've been slowly acquiring the parts as they go on sale and stuff, and Santa Claus brought me the final piece I was needing to the puzzle. Barrel. So we're going to build a 6 arc. And I got a Roscoe barrel. So we'll see. Stick around. I'll show you how I put the lower together. How I get all the parts in, pins and everything. Sorry if I sound funny, I've been kind of sick, so. But hang around and see if we can learn something. All right, welcome back. The way I like to do things is I like to lay all the parts out. Kind of see. And most of these springs and stuff will only go in one place, so don't get too caught up in just kind of trial and error. I know these skinny long ones are the detents for your takedown pins. I'm trying to roll away. And that's usually where I like to start. I like to start with my detents. Pin that goes in there. It has a little detent there and one down here. And you'll put this small piece of brass will go in there behind one of these springs. So we'll stick the spring in. Looks like we're missing a detent. But I've got spares. So what I like to do, I take a 1/4-inch punch. If you can see that or not, but it says 1/4 inch on it. I slide it through here. And when I put my detent in, try to get this on camera. Fingers ain't wanting to cooperate today. So push down and put pressure on that punch so that don't happen. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We had to go chase that that detent down. So anyway, put this in. If I wasn't filming, I'd be able to do it pretty easy. Because I'm trying to film it, it's not going to work right. But there we go. And just keep pressure on it. Damn it. I'll be back. That is the perfect example of why you buy spare parts kits. I wasn't so lucky to find it that time. You either buy it, there's some brass one. There's the other one. I need it for the back. So, I'll set that down. Oh, there's the other one right there. Okay. All right. Now, Back to our regular programming. Put your detent in here. Push the spring down. Got too much. There we go. There, finally. So as you can see, the punch is holding the detent in. And what I do is I take the actual takedown pin and I push the punch out with it at a quick pace. And if you do everything right, the detent stays in. So I like to pre-lube these a little bit. Put a few drops on there. Now, since nothing else has went right today, let's see if we can get this. So let's put that in here, push it through, make sure it's rotated right, and your detent's in, just like that. So, now the back one, you have to wait, because it comes in the back here. It uses the same spring. But you have to wait till you get your buffer tube and everything on to hold that in place. So, next thing I like to do is put in the magazine catch. So, take your magazine catch, it goes in there. You have your button out here on the outside. And drop your spring in there. Take your button, push the spring down, and kind of thread your button on. It's not quite as tricky as the takedown pins, but there's still a little bit of skill involved. There we go. Once we got it started, you can only screw this in so far before it contacts the receiver. So what I do is I push it through, and then I spin this. I like to get it when the threads are about flush there. So. Close enough. That's your magazine takedown. Next is probably going to be our bolt catch. It sits in here. You have this little deal that sits on a spring. I can't remember if it's the little spring or the big spring. That's going to be the short one. It's a tiny bit smaller diameter. There we go. Yep, that drops in there. This drops on top. that. Get that in there. Now, this little roll pin is what holds that in. I like to get the roll pin started before I try to put all this stuff in. And that way you don't try to hold everything and drive the roll pin and get it started at the same time. So we'll take this out. And we'll bring this over. And I'll try to get the roll pin started. Let me find my roll pin starter punch. I'll be right back with you. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna try. So these roll pin punches, they're hollow, and the roll pin just kind of goes up in there, so it can't slide off. And then you can use that to tap. I'm trying to do this one hand, or I may have to cut the camera off and get help. Usually I can do it by myself, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that. I may have to call for some backup. Get an extra set of hands in here. Oops. Trying to assemble guns and film at the same time sometimes is not very conducive to one another. I think we might have got it. Nope, we sure didn't. We got the pin and the punch though. It's half the battle. Okay, now we got it started. So I've got a different punch I'll switch to now. And what I'm looking for is to get that, get it right to the edge of this opening. When I put the spring and everything in, I'm not fighting this pin. Boy. We're getting close. Let me zoom back out a little bit. Okay, close enough. Actually, not. I'm gonna go a little more. All right, remember the small spring. Drop it in the hole. Drop your detent. Actually, I don't know if it's a detent, but then our bolt catch goes in. Take something small. This little Allen wrench will work, I think. Stick it in here to hold that from coming out. And then you'll tap these in, and you want to tap it in a little bit, and then check this because it'll get misaligned, like because it's not lined up perfectly. I wonder if I got a small pinch. I do. I got a little bit smaller punch. Alright. Oh, that's what not to do. Alright, we gotta start all over here. I may edit a lot of this out. It's about like watching paint dry. Goodness. Bigger pin punch. See how I was talking about that, how that's captured. And it's got the pins pressing on it. You kind of got to feel around, find the hole. Keep tapping it in. There we go. Hang on just a second. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Zoom in a little bit here. We finally got it started. I was looking for a little punch I had. I use usually to drive these in. Couldn't find it, so I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Man, I am struggling today. There. Flush. Sticks through the back side. Hurts right there. bolt catch, the detent, that's all done. Next we'll move on to the trigger. I just realized something, I don't have a grip. I didn't order a hand grip for this. I've got some spares, so I'll throw something on there for now just to complete it. But let's get the trigger out. Tried to keep the build as much geisely as I could. And the reason the barrel's not geisly is because I couldn't find one in 6 arc. I've never put a geisly trigger together before. Let me read these instructions, I'll get right back. Alright, we're back. These little pieces here kind of confuse me. I've never seen that before. But geisly says that's a hammer pin retainer. On the instructions, I'll show you how to put it on there. So, other than that, it installs just like any other AR trigger. So, I'm going to pop this. Sorry. Let me turn this camera around so I get a better angle. There we go. Pop this pin out. And when you do that, your sear and stuff's not going to come out, so be careful of that. Drop this down in there. See if we can get this hole lined up. There we go. Close. Alright, now we gotta get our sear. Lined up. Sometimes this is a little bit of a struggle. Give it a little left tap. There we go. Now we can left tap it. Okay. Trigger. Now we gotta set the hammer in. Instructions say to put the pin retainer on the right side of the hammer. So there's that. And when installing the hammer, the springs have to go back like so. there's grooves in that trigger pin they fall into, and helps keep that trigger pin from falling out. We'll line this up. See if we can get our pin to go in it. I hope you can see that on camera. And it's going to have to come from the other side. Pin to hold that place. Okay, that'll hold our trigger somewhat in place while we get this pin in. And we'll just manipulate, hammer around. I'm gonna get past that little detent. Excuse me. I had to give it a little tap. Okay. Now we have a functioning trigger. That's your reset. Okay. I guess we'll put the trigger guard on next. All right, the Geisley lower parts kit has a set screw. That's what this Allen wrench was for, I was using earlier. So we screw this in. A little further. Then we reach through this hole. And turn it out until it engages that hole and holds itself in, like so. Okay, then we've got a pin. Now, one word of caution. When you're putting these roll pins in these trigger guards, don't just start hammering on one side. You need to support this side because you can break this off. That's how I've seen a lot of people. Well, I've heard of a lot of people doing it. I haven't seen anybody, but get a big pin punch. Make sure our weak side is supported. Take that off, and we'll finish it off with a flat punch here. Okay. All right. Let me go find a grip to put on here, and I'll be right back. Well, I lied to you. Turns out I did have a grip. I forgot I'd ordered these a while back. My favorite grip in the whole wide world. The Magpul K2XL. I love these things. They got a really, really good feel. Get the parts. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me go get an Allen wrench that fits this. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Let's get the... Never seen one of these before. Excuse me. Looks like this pushes in and slides off. Hopefully that don't shoot out nowhere. Okay. Cool, it's captured. Okay, now what we do here, here it is. Put our safety in. This is your grooves for your detent. I'm going to put a little lubrication in there. And I'm going to lube the bearing surface here a little bit too. Slide that through. Maybe.
How did you get a turret up there?
What's going on? Oh. Triggers in the way.
I think it's killing all of the aluminum. Wow.
There we go. Yeah, it's all the way through. Go ahead and slide this other side on. Sorry. There you go. Okay. Then we drop this in there. Let me stick this in the grip. Be careful not to mess that spring up. These grips fit really, really tight. Let's see how that spring got messed up. I'll make sure that's in there. Hold the detent. All right. Now we'll drop this in. If you can see up in there or not. Okay. All right. And that's that. Next is the buffer tube and your rear takedown. So I'll be right back with you. All right, now we're going to put the buffer tube on. So You just take your buffer tube and you start threading it on. You want to take your castle nut as far back as possible. That's just castle nuts on backwards. These are your stake pockets, and that's where you put your wrench. So let me turn this around real quick here. Oh, this video is really long. Sorry for that. Okay. Alright. Now you take this and cut it all the way back. Okay. You want to put this on. This goes up into the receiver like that. So that goes on this way. And there's a little groove here that goes in. Like so. And you just thread this in a little ways. Then you get your buffer retainer with this spring here. Stick it down in the hole. The buffer retainer goes in that. You hold that down and screw this in like so. So that can't come up. Now that that's done, we will go to our back takedown pin. Let me lube it up first. Put a little lubing here on the detents and on the pin itself. And slide this in like so. And we're going to turn this a little bit just to get this exposed. And we'll drop our spring in and our detent. Let's go this way. Push the, whoops. Push it down in, slide this over. I'm sorry, I got that totally wrong. The detent goes in first, the springs last. My goodness. I did tell you I wasn't feeling well, right? Alright, detent. Where'd my spring go? Here it is. The spring, let me push the spring down. Throw this up. Be careful with spring, is easy to see how it wants to get pinched up under there. So you just kind of got to work with it and screw this down. Capture that. So that's in. This is in. Now, I'll have to get my wrench. I'll torque this down. I don't know if I'll stake those pockets or not. I probably will. But, and I got an old used stock here I wasn't using. If I can remember. If I can get this on. There it went. All right. take my buffer spring and buffer. I'll oil this. That's how that is now a functioning lower. Safety works. Fires. Resets. Fires. Safety works. That's how you build a lower. All right, everybody. Stay tuned. I'll make another video on the upper. This video is already way too long. Thanks for watching.